Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Very good. Okay, come in. I never saw such a big crowd here before. Huh? Happens sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything emptied out today. You know, a lot of devotees left.
Boxing Day.
Gone home. Yeah. No, but
I
what?
asked my mom about this. She goes, "Yeah, it's an English holiday.
But what is it?
It's like what you said, I think."
Yeah. Nobody knows. Okay. She said 170, but then there's no purport, so 171 too. They go together,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
So chant chant number 70.
You can even do both.
Yeah. Om Gana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksuramilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Okay. Adyeshta Cha Ya Imam Dharmyam Samvadam Avyayo Jnana Yagyena Tenaham Ishtaha Sham Iti Me Mati Adyesta Cha Imam Cha Ya Imam Dharmyam Samvadam Avyayo Jnana Yagyena Tenaham Ishta Shamiti Me Mati Adyesta Cha Yema Imam Dharmyam Samvadam Avyayo Jnana Yagyena Tenaham Ishta Shamiti Me Mati. Words. Adyeshyate, will study. Cha, also. Ya, he who. Imam, this. Dharmyam, sacred. Conversation. Samvadam, conversation. Avyayo, of ours. Jnana, of knowledge. Yagyena, by the sacrifice. Tena, by him. Shall be. Sham, shall be. Oh. Ashta, worshipped. Sham, shall be. Iti, thus. Me, my. Mati, opinion. Krishna can have an opinion. Whatever his opinion is, right. This is my. If I say it's my opinion, who cares, right? Unless I say reading Bhagavad-Gita is my opinion, and some people, it's good for you. And if I believe this, then that can be a good opinion. But my own separate opinion is no good. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. And I declare, repeat please.
And I declare
that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. Okay, number 71. Should we chant it again?
Yeah.
Shadavan Anasuya Cha Shnuyad Api Yo Naraha Sopi
Sopi
Muktaha
Muktaha
Shubal
Subal
Lokan
Lokan
Prapnuyat
Prapnunyat
Punya Karmanam
Punyakarmanam
Shadavan Anasuyascha
Danavananasuyacha
Shinuyadapiyo Naraha
Nunyat Apiyonata
Sopi Mukta Shubalokan
Sopi Mukta Subalokan
Prapnuyat Punya Karmanam
Prapnunyat Punyakarmanam
Shadavan Anasuyascha
Sadavam Sanasunyamcha
Shinuyadapiyo Naraha
Nunyat Apiyonaha
Sopi Mukta Subalokan
Sopi Mukta Subalokan
Prapnuyat Punya Karmanam.
Prapnunyat Punyakarmanam
Okay, everybody.
Shadavan
Shadavananasuyascha Shinuyadapiyo Naraha Soya Mukta Sukalokan Prapnuyat Punya Karmanam Sadhuyananasuyascha
Punya Apiyonaraha
Shinuyadapiyo Naraha
Sopi Mukta Subalokan
Sopi Mukta Shubalokan
Mukyata Punyakarmanam
Prapnuyat Punya Karmanam
Shadavan
Shadavananasuyascha Shinuyadapiyo Naraha Sopi Mukta Subalokan Prapnuyat Punya Karmanam Shadavananasuyascha Shinuyadapiyo Naraha Sopi Mukta Subalokan Prapnuyat Punya Karmanam. More? Sadavananasuyascha Shinuyadapiyo Naraha Sopi Mukta Subalokan Prapnuyat Punya Karmanam. It's very good to chant the Sanskrit sometimes because that's exactly what Krishna said, you know. And the sound itself is very pure. What to speak of, it's just purifying. It also, you know, we may not be so familiar with it, so it absorbs the mind trying to get it, which is also important. Shadavan, faithful. Anasuya,
Anusaya
not envious. Cha, and. Shinuyat,
Punyakarmanam
does hear.
Does hear
Api,
Api
certainly. Ya, who? Nara, a man. Sa,
Sa
he. Api,
Api
also.
Also
Mukta,
Mukta
being liberated.
Being liberated
Shuban,
Suban
the auspicious.
Auspicious
Lokan,
Lokan
planets.
Planets
Prapnuyat,
Prapnunyat
he attains.
He attains
Punya Karmanam,
Punyakarmanam
of the pious.
Pious
Jai. Translation. One who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell, at least. Repeat, and one who listens
One who listens
with faith
with faith
and without envy
without envy
becomes free from sinful reactions
free from sinful
and attains the auspicious planets where the pious dwell.
pious dwell.
Jai. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, the Savior of the world. These purports are, you know, affecting so many millions of people nowadays. We have no idea how many people, you know, we know how many devotees there are kind of that are registered, but we have no idea how many people are relishing it, but they don't tell anybody, and changing their lives, you know, becoming vegetarian. You see how all these things going on, the vegan, everything comes from this book, actually. They don't know that. The kind to animals and all that kind of stuff, and don't eat meat. Because devotees preached it so much for so many years, and so many people read Bhagavad-Gita, but they read so many things, they don't remember exactly, But they pick up on it, and people start, being environmentalist, or being, vegetarian, or being this and that. Or, chanting some names of God, become serious. All right? In the 67th verse of this chapter, the Lord explicitly forbade the Gita's being spoken to those who are envious of the Lord. In other words, Bhagavad Gita is for the devotees only. But like I said the other day, there's different definitions of a devotee. So basically, it's someone who's not envious, will listen, is curious, whatever. They would be considered devotees in this case. There's a part of Chaitanya Charitamrita where I think it's the inhabitants of Kulinagram. It goes over a couple of years. They ask, who is a Vaishnava? And the first time, Lord Chaitanya said, anyone who chants Hare Krishna even once. The next year it was a little more serious, and the next year a little more, but that's the basic idea. There's some kind of Vaishnava, they're devotees, so we can give them the book. We can tell them things, but we don't, get into like a lot of, and Krishna doesn't do that anyway. He never talked about his Braja pastimes to Arjuna. He didn't talk about feeling separation from Radharani and all that stuff. So it's not for everybody, we know that, but Bhagavad Gita is for anybody who's nice, who appreciates Krishna, who can appreciate the devotees to some extent, enough to talk to them for a few minutes and give a little donation. They're considered devotees. Otherwise, it's like, we shouldn't preach the glories of the holy name to the faithless. So sometimes devotees think, we shouldn't preach, How are we going to find somebody who's, a real devotee already? No, there's nobody, But faithless means that get out of here, I don't believe that, there's no God, and all that kind. Those are the people we avoid. And there are people like that, but there's not that many of them. Most of them that are like that, they just avoid us. We don't talk to them, we don't approach them because they would just walk right by, And if we did, they'd just say, get out of here. So, devotees that are out on the street, they gradually become pretty sensitive to those kind of people. They don't talk, they don't approach them, they leave them alone, In other words, Bhagavad Gita is for the devotees. It also happens that sometimes a devotee of the Lord will hold open class, and in that class, not all the students are expected to be devotees. Why do such persons hold open classes? It is explained here that although not everyone is a devotee, still there are many, many men who are not envious of Krishna. They have firm faith in Him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If such persons hear from a bona fide devotee about the Lord, the result is they become at once free from all sinful reactions, and after that attain to the planetary system where all righteous persons are situated. Therefore, simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita, even a person who does not try to be a pure devotee attains the result of righteous activities. So that going to the heavenly planets isn't for the real, surrendered devotees. They go much more, but anyone who just accepts it a little bit, and accepts, okay, I believe Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but, Krishna is very kind. Janma karma cha medivyam evam yo veti tattvataha taktva turnam. When they leave this body, they don't have to come back again. Doesn't mean they're going to go to Goloka. That's not for everybody. Not. Generally, those who are free from sinful reactions, those who are righteous, very easily take to Krishna consciousness. The word punya karmanam is very significant here. This refers to the performance of great sacrifices, like the Ashwamedha Yagya mentioned in the Vedic literature. Those who are righteous in performing devotional service, but who are not pure, can attain the planetary system of the pole star or Dhruvaloka, where Dhruva Maharaj is presiding. He is a great devotee of the Lord, and he has a special planet which is called the pole star. Om Gyana Timirandasya Yanajana Shalakaya Chaksuramilitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sajajatam Sahagana Raghunath Tanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschachade Satarane Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyas Cha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Chaitanya Namani Gora Tushe Namaha Panchatatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandhu Jagatpate, Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namostute. Now, we're in Vrindavan. I like to do the main deities. I do all the time, but especially when we're here, we should definitely acknowledge them. Jayatam Suratopangor, Mama Mandir, Matergati, Mat Sarvasya Padambojo, Shishi Radha, Madanamohano, Divyad Kalpa Drumada, Shiman Ratnagara, Singhasanasto, Prestalibi Sevyamano, Govinda, Shi Govinda, forget it. Yeah, it's Radha Govinda, Shishi Radha Govinda. And then Gopinath. Karshan Veno Sunar Gopi. Gopinath Shtiyestuna. So I got puffed up, so I forget. That's what Krishna does. Make sure we get knocked out, you know. Boom, knockout. Okay, so this is quite an extensive purport, but please, you know, if you think of any questions along the way, just interrupt, you know, raise your hand. Because I like to get some questions to help the direction. You know, it's nice if everybody just sits there, but if they ask some questions, you know, they're listening a little bit. And it's not easy to sit and, you know, out of all the universe, or all of India, or all of Braj, you know, there's very few people that come and listen to class. They come to certain events, but they might not really be listening, they're just attending these saptahas, you know, and they sit every day and they think, now my spiritual obligations are fulfilled. I went every night for 2 weeks or 1 week, and the guy got a lot of money, so it must be good, and, you know. So, but the point is, you know, study the Bhagavad-Gita. What is the most important part of your body?
Soul.
Well, no, the material body. Huh?
Brain.
No, there's eight material elements of the body.
All earth, water, air, fire,
Fine.
mind.
And so what's the most important one?
Mind.
No, what's above the mind?
Intelligence.
All right, come on. So, intelligence. So, if you study Bhagavad Gita, then you're worshiping Krishna with your intelligence, which is, will direct everything else. Intelligence is supposed to direct the mind. So if you're studying Bhagavad-Gita, your intelligence will be full of Bhagavad-Gita, and it will direct the mind to act properly and think properly. Otherwise, how can you manmana bhava madbhakto? How are you going to think of Krishna if your intelligence never heard of Krishna, right? If you don't feed your intelligence. So this is very, very important to study Bhagavad-Gita. Somebody was saying the other day, I heard on actually Prabhupada Memories, and Prabhupada asked someone, do you study my books? And Prabhupada said, I read every day. Not just read, you study, because he always catch everybody, That when the book distributors came in sometimes, and they're a little proud, we're book distributors, and they want to tell Prabhupada all their scores, which, normally he's very, very happy. Like when he went to London, the German party had done a marathon, and they did huge numbers of books before they came to London. And they came in and Prabhupada said, are you reading my books? First thing he said. He didn't ask him, how many books did you do? How many have you distributed? So it's both. If we only read them and we never distribute them, then we become misers, we're not just gyanis. Even it's Prabhupada's book. But we do both. Balance life. People ask, how can I balance my life? It's a big question, right? Even karmis are worried about that. They have many seminars, balancing your life between work and play. And Krishna says, one who works too much or doesn't work enough or sleeps too much, you have to balance everything. You can't be a yogi if you're unbalanced. So we can, if your intelligence is fixed, then it's easy to balance your work life or your family life and your spiritual life. Because you understand what it's all about, how it's all related, and, if you're working, then you give the fruits to Krishna. That can also mean your house, you worship Krishna in your house, your family, you get together and read Bhagavad-Gita. Doesn't mean you just dump everything, leave it, That's what's like some people think, I have to give up everything. Krishna says, Sarva Dharma, I can't do that, I can't do that. They don't know what it means. So they need to hear from devotees. So that's what we're here for. That's why we somehow got in this movement, because somebody was out there somewhere telling us about it, right? Otherwise, how would you think you'd just find Bhagavad Gita? Some people find it in the used bookshop, but that's also because somebody put it there. Somebody distributed a book, someone else left it there because they thought it was, maybe they didn't they think I read it, and I'll leave it there. I'll get 50 cents for it or something. And then you can get it very cheap. Sometimes when we try to sell, a set of Bhagavatams or something, people say, no, I just wait to find them in yard sales and used bookshops, because you find one here and there all the time. Hospital, we were in the hospital in Tel Aviv, and they have a big bookshelf, and we found a Bhagavatam. Because some Russian patient,
The whole thing?
no, one book, maybe there was a couple other books. Devotees leave them everywhere, You can, they have chapels in the airport, or they have the meditation room, and you can, devotees leave a book there just to hope somebody will read it, So you find them all around, but still, then you need to meet a devotee and find out what it's all about, So people then become curious. So this is Lord Chaitanya's thing, wherever you go and whoever you meet. Yaredeka, Taradeka, Krishna Upadesh. Agyai Guru Hoy, Tar Edesh. You become a guru then. You might not be initiating guru with millions of disciples and fame and fortune, or one disciple, but you have many disciples, because everyone you introduce Bhagavad Gita to them, and they become your, Vartma Pradarshaka? You're the Vartma Pradarshaka guru. That's the person who first introduces you to Krishna, tells you about Krishna. So when we're preaching and we're meeting people, that's what we're doing. You know, they never heard of Krishna, or they might have heard something, they don't know what it is, but, you know, when they meet a devotee and he's personal, or they sometimes go to, you know, they see an advertisement for a lecture or a kirtan program, or there's Ratha Yatra, and they follow. Many people like that. I've met people, oh yeah, I followed your parade, you know, it was so wonderful. Even we meet people that followed Prabhupada's parade, you know, the first Ratha Yatra, the second one, I think. He wasn't at the first one. But they did that. I went with your guru to the ocean in San Francisco, you know. I was meeting the devotees from Tehran, Iran. And the one woman, she doesn't look it, but she's my age, obviously, and she said her husband was studying in Berkeley, California. You know, and that was a booming place for devotees at the time, in the world. And she would see the devotees every day, you know, when she was waiting for her husband to get out of class. And she would really like it. They'd walk by with Harinam, but she never followed them. And she's lamenting because she could have met Prabhupada, everything, you know. And then so many years later, she somehow met devotees and starts being a devotee. But, you know, it's amazing. You know, how many people had even met Prabhupada or saw Prabhupada somewhere, you know, saw the Ratha Yatra. And seeing the Ratha Yatra is very auspicious. Prabhupada told Jayananda, anyone who watches the Ratha Yatra go by, even at the time of death when your whole life is flashing before you, when they get to the Ratha Yatra, they'll get stuck there. You know, that was very much enthused Jayananda Prabhu, because he was organizing all the Ratha Yatras. So this is our program. So people are not envious. Where else do we find that not enviousness? Huh? No, in the Bhagavatam. I'm not looking for, you know, we're looking for the scriptures. It's a different word in Sanskrit, but it's the same word, not envious. Right, you got it. Where is that?
This Bhagavatam is meant for the most kind-hearted and persons who are non-envious.
Yeah.
First canto.
First canto, second verse, right?
Yeah.
Dharma Kaitrava. Huh?
Dharma projita kaitavatro nirmat
Yeah.
saranam.
Dharma Kaitava Projita Nirmat Saranam Satam. This is for the first place. It immediately rejects religion which is materially motivated. And that means the non-envious people. Nirmat Saranam. And in that, Prabhupada, I think in the word for word it says non-envious. In the sloka it says are pure in heart. Envy is really dirty in the heart, and envy is a horrible thing. So, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I always tell people to use the microphone, but I'm shouting. But so many of us are hard of hearing, right? Hearing aid is a huge business. Billionaire businesses, you know, making hearing aids for, you know, disappearing hearing aids, and this, you know, hearing aids hidden in your eyeglass, and so many, because so many people need, but they don't want people to know. You know, they want to hide it. But sometimes we have to surrender and get one. You know, it's because it's not going to heal. You know, so non-envious. You know, they don't think, who is this Krishna? Like Duryodhana, for instance, he's the real personification of envy. You know, if you see any Mahabharata drama, and Duryodhana is so disgusting, you just can't stand it, When he wanted to make a second dice match, he told his father, he said, no, you can't do that, He knew it was wrong. So he said, okay, then I have to go to war. His father said, no, there must be something else you can do. Why do you worry? You have much more than Yudhishthira already. You don't know the extent of your kingdom. And why do you worry about, taking away Yudhishthira's things? I cannot stand to see Yudhishthira have any happiness. Yeah. And so his father said, there must be someone who's okay, I can suicide. If you don't give me permission to make another dice match and cheat the Pandavas again, then I'll suicide. His father, oh no, go ahead and have it. Because he was too much attached to his son that he did things he knew he shouldn't do. And everything was lost. So envy, they picture envy as turning people green, in America anyway. You become green with envy, they say. Your skin changes, Envious people just suffer so much, And they just, because we want something else than what we have. They don't realize that Krishna gave you whatever you deserve, and you just be happy with it and use it for Krishna's service, and you'll be completely satisfied. But if you think, why does he have that? Why does this one more money than me? Why are they more beautiful than me? Why do they know more slokas? Even why do they play mridanga better than me? What's wrong? They must be cheating. So don't be envious. And of course, lust, these things originate from lust. I want something, and then when I see someone else has it, I can't stand it. I want it. And the advertising people use that. You get this, and people will be envious of you. People will look at you and be envious. That's what. Oh yeah, that would be nice. People will think that I'm something. I have so much, but that when people are envious of it, they curse you. It's an automatic curse. So you have to be very careful about being envious. It just pollutes your whole mind and body. And you can't understand the Bhagavatam, you can't approach it, you can't understand Krishna. Even if you have the book and try to read it, you just get envious and stop. I don't like this. Because Krishna says so many times, I'm supreme, worship me. No, me. So that's why we got here in the first place, Some kind of envy creeps in somehow or other, even in the spiritual world it can happen, because we have independence. So for some reason, we don't, nobody can explain. Prabhupada said, don't worry about it. Don't try to understand it. Just get out, right? Like in the emergency room in the hospital, when they pull someone in from a car accident, they don't say, well, let's get a report about everything and where was the accident. The police take care of that, but they just immediately get to work, right? It's on television, very popular, isn't it? ER, emergency room. There's live ones. They're actually filming the emergency room and all these crazy things coming in, and the doctor's in a big panic, and they interview the doctor. He says, I didn't know what to do. We had no idea what to do. We just worked on it, because it's, so many crazy things happen. Then they have another drama where you got all the beautiful people and, the doctors, and they're all having affairs with each, they got all that stuff. But, emergency room. It's even said, like, if you're feeling unhappy and like you're suffering and everything, just go hang around the emergency room for a few hours. Then you'll think, well, I'm really lucky, I've only got like, a headache or something, I'm only a little bit poor, but look at these people coming in there, So, there's, something worthwhile, like you say, I was crying because I only had one foot, or I didn't have any socks or something, and then I saw a guy with no feet. Then you think, oh, I'm very fortunate. So an intelligent person understands I'm really fortunate. Like, we're all mostly, I think, from, so-called developed countries, right? Isn't it? Anybody from, one of these completely undeveloped countries, or one of those places where there's war all the time and so many people are starving and, anybody? No. So, if you have a roof over your head and clothes and food to eat, you're doing really good compared to most of the world. Many people have something, but not much, We're worried about hot water, or pure water to drink, but many people have any water. I've been so bewildered. I watched one documentary about the water crisis in India. Now every time I use water, I feel guilty, These people, there's no water. Everything dried up, and especially some part of South India. Even the Kaveri River, one of the biggest rivers, is dry. The monsoons don't come on time, and they've all forgotten their traditional ways to save water, and they have to buy it. The truck comes once a week, and they can buy 7 liters or something, for a family. These women, and it takes most of their money. Or one guy, he had 3 wives. He said, well, I needed more help because they have to get water, they have to leave at 6 in the morning and get back at 6 at night. Because they get to the well, then they have to wait in a big queue and then walk back with water on their head, And many people have to do that. 20 kilometers they have to walk to get water. So, we can't imagine how fortunate we are. And then like Coca-Cola's using up all the water somewhere, or the slaughterhouse is using all the water, and the people have to buy water from Kinley, right? Coca-Cola. They're very popular because they have the money to advertise more than any other local brand or anything. So the world is crazy. Why is that? Why do we have so much opulence? We should be thinking, and so many people are down and out. So don't be envious when you see somebody has more than you, because they're also envious of somebody. There's always somebody has more. Even the so-called richest men in the world, they're just trying to get more and more and more. And they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how much they have, but they just want more. It's a madness for money. And the Bhagavad-Gita explains there's nothing worse for spiritual advancement than to be mad after money. The 4 Kumaras are teaching that to Prithu Maharaj. There's other things that are also worse, but it's one of the worst things to be mad at, because what do they want the money for? Yeah, so then they can go anywhere to find girls, they can go anywhere to eat, whatever they want. They can pay to get themselves advertised as great people. They want money for sense gratification. And they think, if I'm sick, if I have enough money, I can go to the best hospital and they'll take care of me. I don't have to have a healing priest or something, anymore. Now, these kind of guys, the miracle workers, they usually say, come to me and I'll make you rich. Come to my church and the money's, come next Sunday, monies are going to fall out of the ceiling, one guy in Africa is saying it. People go, they mob the place. And they just take all their money as a donation and say, because everyone can see they're very rich, so they think, well, he'll help me, So it's a crazy world. But Krishna, ultimately any envy, we're envious of Krishna because he has all opulences in full. He has all the wealth, he has all the knowledge, he has all the fame, he has all the beauty. Nobody can come close. So, all the demigods in the universe and all the universes, They can't come close because Krishna actually owns everything. Everyone else is temporary, except, maybe Narada Muni, people like that, but they don't care about having anything. They have Krishna. So Bhagavad-Gita is there for us. And if you read it, study it, think about it, like you're coming here to class, many of you, every day, then you're worshiping Krishna with your intelligence. It's the highest way to worship Krishna. Then that's when we really get understanding. Krishna gives, Tesham Sattata Yuktanam, Vajatam Priti Purvakam, Tadami Buddha Yogam Tam, Yena Mam Upayanti Te. Those who worship me with devotion. Here it also says like that, right? Is that in the verse? One who listens with faith and without envy. Faith is also stressed so much. You have to have faith. To believe it. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. I want to hear from Him. He says to try to serve Him, so I'll try to serve Him in whatever way I can. Faith that it's going to work even though it might not work. Because you hear people sometimes say, even they've been devotees for a long time, initiated, it doesn't work. That's true. I can say that. So they say, wow, no. How can you say that, right? It doesn't work for material gain. If you're chanting for material gain, if you're chanting for reputation, or you're chanting for, whatever reason like that, trying to get, it doesn't work. You won't get it. Or if you get it, you'll never be satisfied with it because you know better. You know it can't satisfy you once you get it. But so with faith, so if we're chanting for Krishna, then the results come, you get Krishna. But it doesn't work for material gain. That's why many people that are mad after material gain, they don't want to worship Krishna. Because he's famous as Hari, takes away. So then, I can't worship Krishna, he might take away everything. I don't want to get initiated because the guru might tell me to do something I don't want to do, right? Isn't it? Mahatma Prabhu, he asks sometimes in the seminar, and the people say things like that. Why don't you get initiated? So many years you're chanting. Well, Guru might tell me to do something I don't want to do. He might ask me for a big donation. I don't want to give it, But gurus generally don't do that. Some of these outside gurus will do that, These so-called God men, you give to me, I'll make you rich, But it doesn't work. It's crazy how the world is going. In South Africa, in Durban, the temple's up on the hill, and coming down the hill, there was a big signboard, kind of glowing colors, and it said, expect a miracle. So I thought it's, some church, because they talk like that. But it was a casino. Meaning, they know it's a miracle if you win. But they say, this casino, you can expect a miracle. The gamblers advertise, make the bet by phone, collect your winnings here. It never says you might lose. Like, okay, I put my bet, now I just go downtown and pick up the money. It doesn't work like that. Gamblers always lose in the long run because the odds in a casino are you get 17% back of what you invest. It's not very good, right? If somebody came in with a business proposal, and please invest in my business, and you'll get 17% of what you give me back. No, they say you'll get double money back, or something like that. Then people think, okay, let me try it. So, Krishna says, I'm the gambling of cheat. Gambling is big cheating, but nobody can cheat Krishna. He's too smart. So, he has so many things. The gambling of cheats, the light and the sun and the moon, this, that, that's Krishna. So we want to connect with Krishna, and he's giving everybody everything anyway. Nothing is separate from that. A demigod can't give you anything without Krishna's permission. Nobody can. You may think, I worked hard, I got this. No, but Krishna let you get it. You know, they advertise all these different things, you know, and you can get whatever you want. Just meditate like this, and then books come out later why it doesn't work because you didn't try hard enough and all that. But that's also for the bhakti practices, you know. If you don't put in serious time and you don't have faith and devotion and love and all those things, those are the key words we find over and over again. That's why it's not working perfectly. It's to pray to get those things. And then Krishna gives it, somehow or other. How is faith produced? You know what the Bhagavad-Gita says?
By association with devotees.
Who said that? Who said that?
I did.
Yeah, very good. Where does it say that?
The Bhagavad-Gita.
Where?
I think the 9th chapter.
That's right. Anybody know?
What is the question, please?
How is faith produced? Prabhupada puts in the purport. Because Krishna says, those without faith, they can never come to me. And that just pops up all of a sudden. It doesn't seem to fit in, you know.
Isn't it?
Huh?
By yogic business path.
By association with devotees. But you have to be associated with devotees who have faith. Not devotees who are always talking about, I don't want, you know, this is ridiculous. You know I took the vow of initiation, but I didn't know what I was doing, you know. I thought it was just, you know, after I got initiated, I thought, you know, all these stupid things. So if you hear them, you know, criticizing devotees, you know, then you lose faith, of course, that's what they want. And destroying someone's faith, a neophyte's faith, is the same as murder, according, you know, the same kind of result. So the people don't know that, you know. They think, oh, these people, they, you know, I'm going to destroy their faith, give them faith in me, you know, that I know what's wrong, you know. No, devotees don't want that. They want Krishna. So time is coming, and any questions? Yeah. Huh?
In the beginning of the lecture, you said, on the question, what is the most important part of the body?
Yeah.
You said it's the intelligence.
The what?
The intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of
okay.
the material body.
Then you said, when your intelligence is fixed, everything goes well.
That's right.
That I don't understand. What is a fixed intelligence? When is your intelligence fixed?
When
Besides,
your intelligence understands that Krishna, the most important thing you can do is worship Krishna. And then it tells your mind, and then your mind tells your body, and you do that. You want to read something, you read Bhagavad-Gita. You want to go somewhere, you go to the temple, you know. You want to eat, you find prasadam, you know, you get fixed up. You believe what the Bhagavad-Gita says because it's telling you everything, but intelligence has to know that. So you know that picture, right? The chariot with the horses, and there are the senses, and the driver is the intelligence. So what happens if the driver is drunk, or you know, he falls asleep, or someone kills him? Then the mind is not controlled anymore. And then that's what controls the horses. So they run off in all different directions, 5 different directions. I tell many times, but when I was believe it, I was young. So in America, somehow or at that time, all the movies and TV shows practically were these cowboy westerns, you know, people riding horses, and early America crossing in a horse-drawn coach, and yeah. So the bad guys would come and they'd shoot the driver, and then, you know, then the horses run wild. It, you know, then the good guy would come, the Lone Ranger or whoever it was, and he had a faster horse, and somehow he'd get on there and he'd get all hold of all those things, and at the last minute, right before the cliff, you know, and the beautiful girls in the back, you know, it stops. So it's the same. That's what happens. You know, the driver is not functioning. like if the drunken drivers, they have a lot of accidents, they kill a lot of people, right? In a car. It's a common thing now. Inattentive drivers. In England, they said most of the car accidents are inattentive drivers. They're distracted by something. They're looking at the girls, or they're looking at the signboards, which, there's so many of them now. It's very hard to drive a car in some cities, just constant advertisement. Even coming down this road, there's over and over again the same advertisement. And you can't read it unless you're walking, but you think, keep looking at it. Wonder what it is, So the mind will be distracted very easily, and then you can get in trouble. So, but if the intelligence is fixed, that you think the intelligence knows Krishna is the supreme bhakti, serving Krishna is the real purpose of human life, then you guide the mind to help you do that. Right, Pranashwar? Yeah, that's what it means. If the driver knows where to go and he knows how to handle, like Krishna was driving Arjuna's chariot. So Duryodhana, he wanted Shalva, he was the last big leader left on his side. So he wanted him to take over the army. And Shalva was actually Krishna's uncle. So already they had made an agreement. Krishna told him, just ask you one, I know, okay, you join that side, but one thing, they're going to ask you to drive Karna's chariot. So when they do that, you speak in such a way to really discourage Karna. The driver is supposed to encourage the warrior. So he agreed. So I'm not going to, right away when Duryodhana said, I'm not going to drive for that jerk. He's a nonsense, And they kept begging. We said, okay, I'll do it. Because Karna said, I'm better than Arjuna in every way. I have a better bow, I'm more skillful, everything about me is superior. But he's got a better driver. Very important to have a good chariot driver, right? Krishna was the best, He saved Arjuna's life over and over and over again, and no one could drive like Krishna. But he said, only Shalva is qualified, So then Shalva said, okay, I'll do it. So when they, they were lined up and looking at the armies, and Shalva said, what do you think you're doing? You can't fight Arjuna. How are you going to say that? Oh, you stupid, And they had big arguments, and he kept insulting Karna, the driver, So finally he said, okay, let's fight, But Karna was in a bad state of mind, But, better driver. It's important. Even in race cars, two people can drive the same car. One can go much faster for some reason, because he's focusing his mind much more, and that affects even the machine. Right? Okay, any other questions? Huh?
Judging others, that is right or wrong?
Huh?
Judging others, sometimes we are judging others. Judging others too, that is right or wrong?
Getting a what?
Judging
We are
others.
judging sometimes.
Others' activities being.
My hearing is not so good when people mumble,
Judging others' activity or behavior, he was talking about.
I didn't follow that either.
To judge one person, either he is right or wrong.
What?
To check some person
Yeah,
who is right or wrong.
I don't
How
know.
to check?
I don't understand what the question is.
What's your
Ask the
question?
question for them,
What's your question?
or you tell me.
Sometimes we do something, is that right or wrong, but what is it?
No, what's your question?
Judging others that is right or wrong?
It's wrong.
Wrong.
He says, is judging others right or wrong?
Very bad. Yeah. That's in the Bible. It's one of the famous things they teach us all when we're children, that verse. Judge not, for you shall be judged by the same standards. Whatever you do comes back to you. Karma. So you're judging, you're going to be judged. Of course, sometimes, we have to make some judgment if we're a leader or something, but we have to know things. But to judge, I know this person's character, and this person is that, and this, very dangerous. Because if you, generally we'll try to find something wrong with people. Look very carefully with the microscope.
Is it still wrong when you see things, you think, there I should...
Huh?
Is it wrong when you see things and you think, oh my God, they could do it better, let me help them,
Yeah, if you seriously want to help somebody,
yes.
that's fine. But you have to do it in the right way at the right time, and you have to. Am I qualified to teach this person anything? Are they ready to hear anything from anybody? You have to, all those things. To be very careful.
Yes, because they think you are...
I learned a lot when I was at some age, young age. For some reason, I got a job in a factory, and there was a table, and then there was two tables, and you have to move something from one to the other. And the two tables were a little bit far apart. Somebody put them that way, so I was just doing it that way. And the supervisor came along. He didn't say a word. He just moved the table over and walked away. Okay, then it was much easier. I could work twice as fast because I didn't have to walk in between tables. That's the proper teaching. Smart guy, He didn't say, "You stupid, why don't you," He just showed me what to do. So, Prabhupada, that's how he taught. So the same thing if you're raising children or whatever. If you're preaching to someone, if you have to chastise or discipline, if you do it out of love, you're trying to really help the person, then they'll be pleased with you. Maybe not right, but also you have to be careful. Somebody's in the middle of doing something wrong, better to let them finish it up and then maybe tell them later, because they're already caught up in passion and they're not going to appreciate anything. Right? Everybody knows. We all had it happen to us and get really upset, and we've all tried to tell somebody something and they get really upset. Right? All right, any one more? Because I have to get moving. Okay, so thank you for being here. I'm trying to thank, the deities and Prabhupada and all the devotees. And I never stayed as long as I've stayed in Vrindavan this time. I never before.
How long were you here?
I don't know. From before the end of Kartik, like Bhishma Panchaka time. I never stayed that long before. But, so I hope I didn't offend the Holy Dham too much and the devotees, because it's very hard nowadays to look around and, you want to help all the cows and all the freezing people on the road, but there's no way you can help all of them, except to spread Krishna consciousness and uplift the consciousness of the world, so that people will start to take care of other people. More and more people will get a feeling to take care of people. Finally today, just on the way here, there is one place along that road that goes to Mathura, and there's a cement thing for feeding cows. Usually there's nothing in there, but tonight somebody put a lot of stuff in there, and there was about 6 cows, chewing away. But the thing is, the cow, their dharmas are just always looking for food. So even they just go in all the garbage anywhere, hoping to find any little tiny bit, So they need help. The whole world needs so much help, and so many people are suffering much more. So many cows are being sent for slaughter every day, and so many people are being sent for slaughter, either in a war or just getting their consciousness slaughtered. So, the only way we can really help them is to spread Krishna consciousness, so that more and more people get elevated and they can rule the world in such a way that people become better, everything becomes better. Otherwise, Radhanath Swami tells one time he was walking on the beach and there was one fish that flopped out, So he threw it back, and it kept getting washed out again. He finally waded way out there, and he threw it as far as he could, and he thought, I saved that fish, Then he went down the road, and there was a fisherman pulling in a huge net, with thousands of fish in it.
Yeah.
That, what can you do, right? But, if you get people to not eat fish, then that will help the fish. If you get one person not eat fish, you help a lot of fish in their lifetime, right? Okay, thank you very much. Bhagavad-Gita ki jai. So take Krishna's advice there with faith and study it. Like many come here every day, so it's very good. Wonderful thing, and thank Mother Parvati for organizing this for so many years. She has to call on people and ask them to give class and make schedules all the time. And she just kept it up for 18 years. All right. Jai. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari